Welcome back to New York GA True Crime Files. Today I'll be discussing the case of Susana Morales. This case is being held in Gwinnett County, Georgia, and it's the state of Georgia versus Miles Bryat. I will give you the rundown and the recap, and in upcoming videos I'll also leave timestamps for other true crimers. I give you the rundown, I watch these episodes and this trial, and I'll give you the recap so you don't have to. So here we go. This is the state of Georgia versus Miles Bryat in regards to Susana Morales. Here we go. So guys, today is day number 5 of the trial of the state's case of state of Georgia versus Miles Bryat. And I'm going to give you a recap of what happened today in the courtroom. And then going forward, I will leave timestamps for those who want to, who don't have, it's an 8-hour long day. So today was day number 5. And the first witness was Mikhail Smelov. I hope I got this name right. He was the IT person from the King David Community Center. It's an adult daycare center off of Singleton Road. That is a very important location because that is the camera that caught Susana. That was the last known footage of her alive. Witness number 2 was Corporal Bryant. He testified that he did a dump on Miles Bryant's phone and his laptop. So Miles Bryant had a work phone and his personal phone, and he did a dump on it, and they were able to retrieve the information. This may very well be important. It's very, very important to this case. And for other cases that I've covered, like the Ernesto Williams case, with his trial coming up, that's going to be very important as well. Number 3 was John Jorstead. He is a shift supervisor, formerly a corporal of the homicide unit. He was the one who went on February 13th, 2024, was it 2024? He picked up Miles Bryant and brought him back to the station to be questioned. Okay. But this young lady, I loved her. And I just want to give a shout out to Detective Angela, Corporal and Detective Angela Carter. She was a smooth operator. She really did. Her interrogation was awesome. Okay. So the number 4 person was Detective Angela Carter. It was really, really a great interrogation. Then after we saw Angela Carter on the stand, they went to the footage of the interrogation, which took place on February 13th, 2023. I'm sorry. He was arrested on February 13th, 2023 of last year. It goes to the tape of the maybe 3 hours and 30 minutes of interrogation, which was done in the Gwinnett County courthouse. And let me just tell you, the interrogation was really, really good. And I'm going to do a video on that and we can go through and look. But some of the things I noticed during the interrogation was his body language. He avoided looking in the courtroom. Mr. Miles Bryant avoided looking at the camera, but he appeared mad at the camera. And he also actually appeared to be looking at the cameras when he was being interrogated and people went out of the room. So let me finish seeing what else I had to say about today. And then the day kind of ended after they interrogated him and they eventually put him under arrest. Let me give you my thoughts, my takeaways, and names and places to remember. So let's start with names that I want you to remember because I'm starting with day 5, but we're going to do a look back. Names that I want you to remember. Elisha Bates. I want you to remember Avion Smyer. I want you to remember Sonovia Consensa Parks. I want you to remember the name Yesenia Llanez. And I also want you to remember the name Kishan Phillips. But the name that we should all be remembering is Susana. Okay, that's who we should really be remembering, is Susana Morales. But those are some names that are very important to this case. Okay, places to remember: Santa Ana Drive, Singleton Road, Sterling Glen Apartments, and Highway 316 in Decula. I guess that's how you say it. Those are some places to remember, and we're going to go back and talk about those things. Let me tell you a little bit about my thoughts regarding what happened today. And to sum it up, one of the things during the last part of the interrogation, his fellow cops said to him, excuse me, "You're not a cop. You don't represent this badge or this country." And I think he mumbled something like, "Yes, I do." But the cops were basically saying, a lot of people don't like cops anymore. You're giving us a bad rap. And now you go and do something like this. Let me just be very clear. And I want to say this. There are bad apples in every bunch. There are bad cops, nurses, lawyers, in every genre of any profession, bad presidents, bad CEOs, they're bad. But myself personally, and I guess if you've had a bad experience with police officers, you may feel that way, but I don't. Okay. They're there to protect and to serve. Yes, there are bad apples everywhere. So for any police officers listening, everybody does not hate the police. That's not true. What I do understand and what I do know is when we have a problem, when we have an emergency, who do we call? We call 911 and we want the police to show up. So I just wanted to say that. Let me just see some of the things, some of my takeaways. Let's see. The takeaways from the interrogation takeaways today were both of his phones pinged from the area where Susana's body was found. So he had a phone that was issued by Gwinnett County and his personal phones. They both pinged from the towers where her body was found off of 316. His truck was parked in front of her house 1 month after she went missing. I found that to be very interesting. My other takeaway, he called star 67 Esmeralda, which was Susana's sister, during the time 3 days after she disappeared, and he blocked his number and called from a private number to get information about the case rather than calling the police department. The cameras off of Singleton Road at the daycare show him and Susana, and then there's some other cameras that I don't think they've released that information, but I think there's another camera there at one of those gas stations. His service revolver was found at the scene of the crime in the woods off of 316. He had previously reported it stolen. He made phone calls sitting stationary off of 316 for a few hours. Okay. One of the other interesting things that I learned, because his mom did not want to be videotaped during the hearing. She was a witness. He was adopted as a child, but he could not say when he was adopted. That's really interesting. Repo data. So those repo cars that ride around neighborhoods looking for cars that need to repo, they were the ones that the cops got the data from to determine the pings off of Miles Bryant's car. And that was the data that showed that he was actually sitting outside of her home a month after she went missing, which is crazy. In this video, the interrogation, it almost looked like he was trying to implicate his girlfriend by saying she chased him all around and that type of thing, which is crazy. We also learned that he had some indiscretions with his girlfriend. He got caught. I guess it looks like he went on a trip to Florida, told his girlfriend, what is her name? Sonovia, that he was in Florida with a work trip, but he actually wasn't. And the other, he called her side chick. He literally referred to the other girl as the side chick, which I was like, wow, that's really, really crazy. Avian Smyer, he referred to her as the side chick, and she had posted their vacation time on her wall, and that's how he ended up getting in trouble. Another thing to know, that he said that he basically he would have relations with other people, somebody named Justice Day, and I don't know if that's somebody he knew or if that was one of the ladies of the night, but he had relations with women in his vehicle. Let's see, those were some of the takeaways from the interrogation today. My thoughts, my thoughts and my takeaways are, he had many sexual partners, possibly maybe people, ladies of the night, many sources of supply. Of course, narcissists always have multiple sources of supply. He never wanted to admit this. He was like, I can't believe that I'm here. When the cops walked out, he was like, I can't believe that I'm here. I can't believe I'm in handcuffs. This is not supposed to be me. He had multiple cameras, hidden cameras in his household. Okay, where his girlfriend didn't know. He had, I have regular cameras in my house, but I don't have hidden cameras. He had hidden cameras, and he would go and leave the house and go and watch his girlfriend on those hidden cameras. So they found his regular cameras, but they also had hidden cameras in his house as he watched his girlfriend. They love control. They love to manipulate. Let's see. He kept saying, "It's not me. It's not me. No, no, no." And I also wanted to, he said that the night of this incident, this is what I believe, and it may come out to be, they're going to be looking for one of the things, DNA outside of his car. They haven't brought that evidence yet, but I'm thinking, and this is just my analysis. Him and his girlfriend had an altercation that night. His girlfriend saw him, blocked him in. I don't believe he rolled down his window. He said she broke his mirror or something. I don't quite believe that, but I believe Susana was in the car at that time, whether she was alive or not. And I'm trying to get some pictures of his car to determine whether or not he has tint on those windows, because this occurred at night. And I believe she was in the car at that time. I believe she was in that car, and that's why he was driving off wherever he was. But I believe Susana was in that car. I don't know what happened, but I believe she was in the car at the time when that altercation happened. I believe she was in the car when his girlfriend allegedly chased him. That's what he said. The hidden cameras was one thing that was crazy, and the fact that he was sitting in front of her house a month after she disappeared, and then called the sister to get some information rather than calling the police department, which he works for. Remember the name Elisha Bates? That young lady, she has some guardian angels, because I do believe she would have been his I don't know if he has more victims and he's innocent until proven guilty. These are all alleged, but I believe she would have been a victim. This girl was smart. She was feisty. And I think she knew, and her sixth sense kicked in, her intuition kicked in, and she knew that he was coming for her and he wanted her. And you know why he wanted her? Because of the rejection. I believe she rejected him. She wasn't showing him any time or day. And, he was highly upset about that. One of the things I saw, he showed no remorse. Actually, which was really crazy, which is not atypical, the police officer said that he smirked in the video. And if you know anything about a narcissistic smirk, that's what the police officer says. He was like, a normal person wouldn't answer a question like that. And you actually smiled and smirked when I asked you, when I said those things to you. The officer said he smirked. The officer said they have undisputable facts that he was there. His phone pinged off in that woods. He put himself there off of 316. He placed himself there. His revolver was there, and her body was there. So that places him there at the scene of the crime. And so that's what happened today on day number 5 of the state's case against Miles Bryant. Let's see. While he was sitting there being interrogated, he made a couple of phone calls to his girlfriend. I think he called his mom. They love their telephones, right? Let me see what else happened. Yeah, so those are my thoughts. Those are my takeaways. I told you to remember some names to remember. Elisha Bates, Yesenia Lanez, Ivian Smyer, Sonova Consenza Parks, and the locations to remember are certainly Sterling Glen Apartments, and I'll get to these locations and why they do have meaning. Highway 316 in Decula, San Anna Drive, and Singleton Road. Those are really, really important locations in this case. I just wanted to give you a rundown of what happened today. The state is presenting a case, and he's supposed to take the stand. And I think what their defense is going to be that she OD'd, she took, and I hate that they're going to try to besmirch her name. They're going to try to say it was an accident. She overdosed or something and he didn't know what to do with the body or something. This is what I believe is going to happen. I believe he's going to take the stand. And I believe that's what he's going to do. And I think that's what the angle that they're going to try to take. Okay. But it was a great, that young lady, Angela Carter, man, her interrogation skills are top notch. She got in close, got his, trust, talked about we're together on this, we're brothers and sisters, and blah blah blah, and talked about and used the young term slangonology. She used the young terminology, and she was able to gain his trust. But then, honey, when he wasn't saying too much and she was getting to the end, she was like, she turns on him cold-hearted, and I could feel the emotion. She was like, no, all of these are coincidences, everybody is blaming you. And the thing that really got me was he literally tried, in my opinion, to implicate his girlfriend in this whole situation. She saw me, I saw her, she was there, she was chasing me, blah blah blah. He literally tried to implicate his girlfriend. But y'all, the witnesses are strong. It looks like the evidence is strong. We got the phones. The phones ain't lying, y'all. You know what I mean? The phones are not lying. So people, when they try to commit crimes, he did it with his service revolver. He did it with, allegedly, he did it with both phones. I mean, they just pinged him and tracked him wherever and then he lost his revolver. It was meant for him to get caught. My questions are there any other victims? Did he just start doing this? I don't believe so. He was like, oh, I drive around a lot. Yeah, you drive around a lot, but he was a stalker. He stalked people, and his girlfriend who lived with him, and he was having multiple partners. Now they're grown, they can do what they want, but I'm here to tell you, as it relates to many narcissists, not all, they have multiple sources of supply. You're not going to be the only one. They're having multiple relationships. They're leading multiple triple and double lives. They lie like a rug, everything that comes out their mouth, and they have no remorse. He had no remorse. He sat in there in that interrogation room, had plenty of time. I would have been crying, sad, saying I'm sorry. He had no remorse. And today, even in the courtroom, he's sitting there taking notes. I'm trying to figure out what you taking notes for. That's what I think the defense is going to be. I think the attorney for Miles Bryant is Tracy Drake, and she's not one to mess with. I don't think so. He was denied bond by the judge, considered a hazard to the community, which he is, and he needs to stay there. But that's the rundown. Tomorrow they're going to continue with the state's case against Miles Bryant. He's the 22-year-old police officer who's allegedly charged with the crime of taking this beautiful young woman's life, Susana Morales. And in another video, I'm going to get into who is Susana Morales, because this is about her, right, and her family. They're still grieving. They've lost a child or a sister and a relative in a violent way. And I'm just giving you this part about the case, but I'm going to take some time to dedicate to her. She was only 16 years old. She was a baby. And, I just don't like the fact that they're going to try to throw this. She was walking home. She didn't look like she was drunk or high. She looked like she was walking home trying to get home. But anyway, y'all, let me know what y'all think. This is the rundown from today. The state's case, Georgia versus Miles Bryant. And the police officers were upset. They were like, look, we already getting a bad rap. People already don't like the cops. And now look, you go and do something like this. He said, when he said that, I was like, because narcissists, they don't like to be shamed. He said, you don't represent this badge or this country. You're not a cop. That's just what he said to him. Sure did. And he kept saying when the cops weren't there, I feel like a perp. I feel like a perp. Well, that's because you are, in my opinion. He showed no remorse, but we don't know all the other evidence that they might have, because if there's DNA evidence, that puts her in that car, right? So we need something to put him in that car with him. Her in that car with him, and his clothes, and at the house. They're going to try that DNA evidence. So I don't believe he used the gun. I believe he used his hands or something to asphyxiate her. That's what I believe. They don't have that information as to what her cause of death was, but I believe that he lost control and literally did that. But anyway, y'all, this is the wrap up for day number 5 of the state's case against Miles Bryant. And in other videos to come, I'm going to talk about this beautiful young woman who lost her life, unfortunately, right, to and we're going to learn some things from this, right? Because I'm going to go over, some of the things that occurred. But these people, if somebody's stalking you, my question was, did he know her? That's my question. Can they put the DNA, her in the car with him? I think they'll have that. And I think it takes time for the DNA to come back from the crime lab. But also, did he know her? And I think he knew her. She may have seen him, but some of these people are stalkers. And we know, in my opinion, he was a stalker. He stalked her. And that's just my opinion. He stalked her, right? I think he knew who she was. She may not have known him, but that remains to be seen. I believe he stalked her. And I think he befriended some of the other younger kids in the neighborhood, because he's not quite out of his teens himself. He's only 22 years old, but he was having multiple relationships, living a dual, quadruple life. Most of them do. They have multiple phones. In his car, I will say, during one of the videos, they found a GPS tracker. So I don't know if he was tracking his girlfriend on her car or that type of situation. He said that she had cheated on him, and then he said, then he also said that he had cheated on her. So I don't know, but it's a lot of confusion when you're dating somebody that has that pathology, and in my opinion has that personality disorder. He did not give any remorse. He didn't show any remorse, in my opinion. And the police officer said, when he was asking him, did you do this? He was like, no, I didn't do it. And he said he smirked. Some of them, they enjoy, some of these are crimes. They enjoy doing this type of stuff. My question is, are there any more people? Okay. Has this been any other people, any other victims? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? I have no clue. And were they able to get the DNA evidence? Because they have not. The medical examiner was not able to determine what her cause of death was. So, guys, that's day number 5 of the Susana Morales case. The trial is taking place in Lawrenceville, Georgia, in a very small courthouse. I just want to give my hats off to those people in the courthouse. Please, one of the things I do understand, I see the people and the bailiffs and the people that are guarding the judges and stuff. Don't take that for granted. He's so close to the, judge. I'll be like, like, I'll be sitting right in front of the judge, because it's just such a tight knit thing. And you never know when he might, pop off. They need to be checking him. He's very methodical thinking. You could see him in there in the interrogation room just thinking. They need to be guarding him like white on rice. That's just how I feel. They need to be on him. Don't underestimate this young man. He's very strong too. Okay. So my thing is, they need to be checking him for any type of weapons, checking him for anything, because but yeah, he's gonna say not guilty, because they never, yeah. But anyway, y'all, this is the wrap up today. This is New York GA True Crime Files. This is taking place here in the state of Georgia, and I think the state has a very strong case against him. I doubt very much that he's not going to be convicted. It's just, what time frame is he going to get? And that's what I think his lawyers are looking at, because they know all the evidence is pretty much stacked against him. And then there's an elephant in the room as to when Susana went missing. If the Gwinnett Police Department told them to wait 48 hours, look, it looks to me like, guys, whether or not they told them that or not, it looks like she lost her life that same night. So it wasn't like she was somewhere held or what have you. It seems that night was when she lost her life, like within that from the time, from not like 9 something on, between that time, maybe 10 o'clock, to 2 or 3, she was no longer with us. So, it looks like, they are making sure that that's not the case, and getting the word out that even on the stand, one of the ladies said, that is not the policy. If there's a child missing, report the child missing. We don't wait 48 hours, but 98% of the young people, they end up being found. But in this case, all of her social media stopped, and it was really thought that, it was that night that she was unalived, and she was no longer with us. So a lot of times they're able to see the interactions, even when a child or a young adult runs away. They're on Snapchat, social media, that type of thing. But in her case, everything ceased at that particular time. So guys, let me know what you think about this case. Are you watching? Well, I'm watching the whole day, and I'm going to recap for you. And then tomorrow I'll do timestamps so that way you don't have to. And if you're another true crimer or another YouTuber, you can just come and watch my video, and I'll leave the timestamps down below. But thank you guys so much for watching. Again, this is about a real person, real family, and even the cops, the detective, they were very emotional. And, she was just a baby. She didn't even get a chance to live her life. You know what I mean? She was only 16, but definitely Angela Carter, she said, shed some tears, and she was hoping it wasn't Susana, but it turned out to be her based on the hair that was found there on the scene. And the nails and different things description. So I'm not trying to be too graphic, but that's what occurred. So guys, we're going to send our condolences to the family of Susana Morales, her sister. We're going to send our condolences to all of the people in her family, because this is truly, truly, I know those wounds are being opened back up. And they deserve justice, and they deserve time to heal, and to move on with their lives. It will never be the same. But definitely this character right here, I think the deputies and those who are escorting him, y'all need to be very careful, because there's something about him in my spirit that says he won't hesitate to act the fool. He reminds me of another case here. Don't y'all forget about what happened in that Fulton County courthouse some years back. And if you know, make sure this man right here that y'all got him, and maybe two of y'all, don't let no women escort him. If it's a woman, let it be a man there with him. Two of y'all on him, because there's something about this sneaky snake, in my opinion, that ain't right. And that courtroom is real tiny and real small, and it's a situation. So y'all make sure y'all keep your eye on the judge, keep your eye on this one right there. And tomorrow will be day number 6. So y'all, if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe, hit that little bell. And when you hit that bell, click up and click all. And that way you'll be notified of all my uploads. So I thank you guys for watching New York GA True Crime Files. I will see you on the next upload. Peace, and I'm out.